Hey guys, it's Lisa from Lifeblooming here, and today I'm going to show you how to make these retro tags in PowerPoint. So I'll go ahead and create a new presentation. Double click on blank presentation and we'll click on and delete these templated fields here. First object we're going to add is a rectangle, so I'll select that and hold my left button down and drag until the tag is the size that I want it to be. They're your labels, so make them as big or as small as you like. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change the colour. So I'll go to more fill colours. And the RGB code I'm using today is red 211, green 157 and blue 85. And that replicates the retro butcher style paper. I'll remove the shape outline, no outline. And that's the shape and form of our tag. Second shape we're going to add is another rectangle, and that's going to create an internal frame for us. So we'll drag that shape out so that there's the same width or edge appearing on all sides of that rectangle. Move that over a bit. Now we're going to change the shape fill to no fill. Make it see-through, and we're going to change the shape outline so that it's a little bit darker than the butcher's paper colour. So we'll select that colour that we just added to the palette, go back into more outline colours, and we'll hold and drag the triangle here, arrow rather, so that we get a darker colour. It's a chocolatey brown, so that'll do. Okay. Now the last thing we're going to do to this shape is we're going to make the weight 1.5 points, so that makes it a little bit thicker. And then we have our base shape. Eventually we're going to add a graphic to this area here and some text to this area here. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box, so I'm going to click on that and then drag it so that the left and right hand sides of the text box line up with the internal frame. I'm just going to write some random stuff here, and then I'm going to add a second text box underneath with the main message I want to write. Again, making sure that the edges line up with the frame, and that's just so that when we center our text it will remain centered within that framework. Okay, now that doesn't look so retro fine at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and select this header. Now I'm going to change the font first of all to a font called Pacifico. Now I've downloaded this from Font Squirrel, and on the post for this tutorial I'll pop the link. Next thing I'm going to do is change the colour to white and change the size. The size will depend on how big you've made your particular tag, so you'll have to play around. Mine's going to be 40. And I'm going to center it. Okay, there we go. Now this next part of the text, I'm going to change it to Courier New, and that replicates the old style typewriter text. Okay, now I've changed the colour to white and I'll center that. Okay, it looks a little bit off center because of the way the font is leaning forward, so I'll just move that over a bit. The next thing I'm going to do is add a graphic. Now I already have an icon that I've created that I want to insert. but you can add clip art, photos, pics, whatever you like. There are lots of sites online that you can download icons if you haven't got anything already loaded to your computer. So it's there, and now I'm going to finish off with another line, and that's running horizontal from one side of the frame to the other. I'm going to change it to the same colour as the frame and the same weight, which is 1.5 points. What I'm going to change is I'm going to make it dashed. So I'm going to use these medium-sized dashes here. Okay, and that's going to separate the graphic and the text. Okay, now I'm going to make a circle for the string to run through, so I need 2 circles for that. So I'll select the oval shape. What I'm going to do now is zoom in so that it's easier to work with. I usually control scroll, but there are a number of different ways to zoom in. Right, okay, make sure that's circular. And I'm going to copy that, so Control C, click out, and Control V. Now I'm going to make the circle the same colour as the frame, so it's the fill and the outline. Now this circle right here, I'm going to temporarily make the same colour, but I'm going to change it slightly so that we get an illusion of depth from our hole there. So I'm going to just drag, sorry, let me start there. So I'm going to drag the cross from where it was closer to the green. Select OK. And then in shape outline, I'll click on the colour I just added to the palette. With the brown circle which goes on top, I'm going to make it smaller and then pop it on top of the green one. Okay, now I'm going to zoom back out so you can see that. Okay, now I need to add my string. Now I'm hopeless at freehand, so I tend to use this curve shape here. So I'm going to start from where you might see the string emerge from behind the tag. And with the curve shape, wherever you click, that's where the shape will run a different curve from. So I'm just going to fairly randomly do a series of curves, and then I'm going to bring the last curve in so that it finishes on the edge of the brown circle. I hit enter. That will indicate that my shape is finished. Then I'm going to change the outline colour to black and the weight to 1.5 points. Okay, now just a final adjustment to make sure that everything is where I'd like it to be. Down a bit, and take that down a bit as well. Okay, now I'm going to group all of these objects by holding my left button down, dragging it so that it covers all of the shapes. And I tend to group by going to the Format tab, then selecting the Group button, and then Group again. And what that does is that means that I can now move it around and easily copy the whole lot, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go Control C, click off, Control V twice. And this will just show you how it looks if you display the information using these labels. Okay, and because they're grouped, you're able to rotate the whole lot as well. So this is an interesting way to display a little bit of information, and if you create them without the string shape there, then you can easily print them off and use them as actual labels in real life too. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.